I want to talk about this rubber band of creativity. So, this rubber band of creativity is very interesting. Whenever you imagine and think about something that you want, and you first really imagine as if you have it now, and you enjoy it, you think it, smell it, feel it, hear it, taste it, and you feel what it would feel like if you have it now. Whenever you open your eyes, if you keep your awareness on that, what you love, and you recognize where you are, that juxtaposition starts to create discomfort in a positive way because it makes you say, we're not going to let you be comfortable as long as you're holding this in your mind. We're not going to let you, the brain goes, I'm not going to let you be comfortable unless you go to see that person or do that thing that you already either enjoyed or imagined enjoying, right? And as long as you keep that image in your mind and you realize where you are, you can't help but start to build this pressure. I call it the creative triad. Robert Fritz calls it, I think, structural tension. And what happens is you start to feel uncomfortable because it's not here, but it's a good discomfort that wants you to take action to close the loop of where you are and what you love and what you're in love with. That's why a part of you is in where you want to be, and most of you is right here in the now. And the only reason you're not in the now is there's that contrast of that conflict. Now, whenever that happens, sometimes we don't know how to get there. So what does the brain do? It has to find strategies. It has to learn patience. It has to learn new ways of communicating. And so energy starts to build to do all this. And if we decided that energy was uncomfortable at some time in our lives, we said disappointment or sadness or impatience, uncomfortable. In order to drop that discomfort, we drop the image. And then we're just uncomfortable. We don't have what we want, but it's a better discomfort from that move, from having that in place. And so, because in have it in place, we literally have to change if we don't know how to get it. We have to learn something or overcome something or figure out something or come up with a new strategy. And so that takes a lot of wiring. So if we're not really committed to that image and we're not reframing the discomfort as change happening, we will often drop it in order to be comfortable. We drop the image. But if you hold that image and you stay present and you reframe the discomfort as change happening, then you eventually will figure it out over time. But it's that space of discomfort that's actually getting you closer to it is what gets more intense if you have to become someone new or do something new or learn something new to get there. And so people will either drop the discomfort because they don't like it rather than reframing it as a good thing and change happening, or they'll come up with a belief system to drop it. If I come up with a belief of why I don't have it, then it's easier to, oh, well, I'm not lovable. I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I'm not. And then we drop the image because we replace it with a belief, a limiting belief. But the limiting belief serves us because we don't have to feel the discomfort of not having. It's kind of like, oh, well, if I can't have it, I don't have to feel uncomfortable anymore. So now there's a different discomfort that happens because we're not living our purpose or what's important to us because we gave it a belief or try to avoid the discomfort. The best analogy for this that I came up with in my head is, or I came up with it in my head. The best analogy that I've come up with for myself is imagine you're imagining every day you live in the Midwest and you heard about Hamilton, the play in New York, and you love politics, you love musicals, you love theater, and you love the theater that it's being held in. You know everything about every actor, your favorite actors in it, and you imagine you're at Hamilton and you're in love with being at Hamilton. And now you open your eyes, you're in Kansas and you're not in Hamilton. If you keep thinking about it and feeling that while being present, there's a stress response that starts to build. How do you release some of that stress response? Well, you all of a sudden pick up the phone and buy a ticket or inquire about tickets. Then you buy the ticket. Now you have dopamine rather than stress because it's rewarding you to get you closer. Now you buy an airplane ticket. You're getting closer. And so the closer you get, the more the discomfort's being released, and it will make you uncomfortable if you don't move towards it, as long as it's still held in this juxtaposition in place, right? Then now you're in New York. You're about 20 blocks away from the theater because you had to park far away, and you're walking towards the theater. You're getting close. Now, what would happen if somewhere along your life you made a decision because it was really intense and you couldn't get over it, that you said, don't ever, ever, I cannot handle the cold, or I can't handle rude people. They're not allowed to be, or I can't handle dirt, right? And that's in your subconscious. So you're walking over to Hamilton and it starts to rain and it's really cold. And your brain says, no, we can't keep going. We keep going. We're going to be miserable. And to drop that discomfort, we're going to a coffee shop. Where did Hamilton go? So that's the fade. We're comfortable, but now we're not walking anywhere. So it is a different discomfort that we don't have what we want. So now I got to think about Hamilton again, realize, oh, that's more important than the discomfort of the cold. And I keep walking and I'm getting closer. And then someone bumps into me in a really rude way. And I said, I can't believe this person bumped into me. And I'm more interested in letting them have it, or, chasing them and finding out why. Now, where did Hamilton go? Because all these unconscious patterns that are more important start coming up, either avoiding discomfort or high values that's not allowed to happen, or limiting beliefs. Like, you see a rat and oh my God, this place is dirty and I avoid it. Or a limiting belief, which is they probably are not going, with my luck, they probably ran out of tickets or they lost my ticket. I'm going to go into a coffee shop and be comfortable rather than have what I want. It's understanding that is what gets you to Hamilton. It's being okay with being cold and doubling down on Hamilton. Being okay with people bumping into me because I see you and I raise you, Hamilton. Being okay with the rats in the streets because I'm going to be in Hamilton. And no matter what happens, I'll find a way. Even if I have to come back tomorrow, I'm going to commit to Hamilton. This is how you overcome the challenges of life. But these things are unconscious. So when we have a vision of what we want in our experience, we start moving towards it. And all of a sudden we get disappointed or rejected or betrayed, or it's taking longer than we thought. We have a tendency to what? Drop that contrast in order to be comfortable. Because in order to change, we have to be uncomfortable. But if you see it as change, it's not discomfort at all. It's energy change and getting you closer. So you want to change every belief and get rid of every belief and replace it with whatever this moment is that I don't like. It just means I'm getting closer to that. That's the only meaning I'm going to give this moment. Like hot, cold, cold, hot. Am I getting closer or further? Closer or further? That's it. That's the only thing you should be experiencing. And through that, the feedback mechanism does all the work. You just have to know where you're going, like when you learn to walk, and know where you are. And just knowing, are you getting closer or further, further or closer, closer? And you just keep going. It's called a servo mechanism. You just keep going until you, like a missile, until you land. But you have to adjust to every moment. And we're unconsciously reacting to moments that we said we weren't allowed to feel or weren't allowed to be. And understanding that and getting through that is the difference that makes the difference. Not easy, but it works.